So if you look at the US 30 market, guys, we've got some general lines in here, all right? These trend lines are just showing the angle of incidence of how this market's been trading, these purple lines, okay? Now, what I've done in here is we've also got this middle range, all right? This lower half of the market came from down in here, tapped in here, pushed in here. Now, also, this looks like potentially the market at one point was doing a little bit of sideways action, ish, okay? It was making higher highs and higher lows and ever so slight higher highs. But here we've got like a kind of ever so slight higher low. I suppose so. All right, suppose so. It's been trickling in here. Oops. What's that? What's going on there? 1 second. One second, guys. Everything's just rebooted on my screen for some reason. My screen's just all rebooted. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm not sure what you guys can see. Hopefully you can still see my trading view screen. My screen's just all of them rebooted for some reason. Should be able to see my trading view screen. Yes, please. Can you? Hopefully you can see my trading view screen. Okay, good. All right, so you can see obviously here, I've drawn in some loose lines, all right? Now, the loose lines are showing a bottom of the range where things are at a discount, all right? Taking into consideration COVID-19 and some additional data points here and here. I'm gonna pull that a parallel line and put at the top, the highest point of the, the data point that we've seen so far, okay? So that's giving me these two purple lines, the outside ones. And then we've also got this one here that I've tapped here, which even though, like I said to you, the market looks like potentially there was some kind of sideways action in here, but so slightly. But, was making ever so slightly higher highs and higher lows, all right, in this range, okay? Either way, the market pushed up into this 50% area of this bigger range. And now we're looking to see whether this market is going to tap the top end of this purple line here and come all the way down, or just continue pushing up to this. If we're talking about ping, pong, that this market's just going to ping back over here and touch this top pink line. And that's the question. Are we going to touch this little pink area here, which is the top of this range, and come back down? Or are we going to push all the way up into these levels, okay? So if I go and drop down to my 4 hour, you can see some more information in regards to what's been going on, okay? In regards to what's going on, we can see the market has been making these higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then we've seen it tap up into these levels here, which happens to be on our pink middle zone, which I'm going to make this, I'm going to make this a dashed line and thicken it up a bit. Yeah, in here, and we've seen the market make this push with strength and speed. Have a look at these green candles, okay? So let's understand what just happened here, okay? At this level here, I'm going to draw a line. Yeah, this orange line here, let me make it solid, was, a battlefield. The market couldn't break here. Look, boom, had problems. Came back up here, boom, had problems. And then it decided, we are busting through there. And we went smash with strength and speed, big green candles. Those big green candles left imbalance. If I was to rewind this screen here so you can see what I'm talking about and follow. The market was battling to get past this level here. Couldn't get past here, couldn't get past it, all right? All the soldiers, when we have our analogy and we speak about that battlefield, we're here, okay? And there was definitely liquidity building up above this area, but the market said, you know what? We can do it. And they smashed through this area with strength and speed. But when they did that, as we've seen time and time again, they left an area of imbalance and inefficiency where the market went through that area far too quickly. The market continued to push up and then wanted to come down and close that imbalance, as it always does. Doesn't want to leave no imbalance. Now on the way down here, it created some more imbalance. On this pushback down here from up that purple line, from that area, created an imbalance now up in here. After closing this imbalance, created some imbalance in here. The market then decided it wanted to go and close that imbalance. Yeah, and it whipped above here, grabbing some additional liquidity above this high. Because remember, above any high, any like V bottom or mountain top peak, there is liquidity. The market pushed back over there very quickly and then decided that it wants to go and push down in this direction. Now, some may say this looks like a manipulation M pattern, okay? All right, but we can see here basically where we currently sitting is this market still, it has bullish structure. Regardless of all of this action and this roller coaster stuff that's been happening, have a look. This market still has higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, ever so slight higher high. And right now, where we are, let me make this white so you can see what's going on. Right now, where we are, even if I play it forward, we've just been going sideways before we've broken this structure. We haven't broken this swing low yet, you see? So this market, for all purposes, is still bullish. It hasn't told me that it's ready to go bearish, not on a 4-hour time frame. Yeah, we've broken some structure here. Have a look on the 4-hour. If I get rid of these lines here, we have broken this little level of structure that was in here. Okay, I'll get rid of this as well. And there's some stuff in here I'll get rid of. All right, so we have broken this level of structure, but this push down here, we may see, in my opinion, even if this market wants to continue going down, we may first see it do something like this, then decide to do this, then decide to do this, then decide to get in here. And at that point in time, I want to see whether this market is going to break outside of that structure, those two yellow lines, and decide to do something like this. Okay, or is this market going to tap in here, respect that swing level over here, respect this structure, which is a higher low. Okay, have a look, higher high, higher low, higher high, then respect this structure, higher low, and maybe is this market just going to not respect this purple line that I put in here, which I thought was like a kind of middle structure where we saw the market had a reaction to previously, and maybe this market's going to say, nah, mate, we just want to keep doing this, mate. We're going all the way to the other end of that pink line. This one here, the other end of this purple, sorry, I keep saying pink, purple line over here. And we're just going to keep pushing up and up and up and up and up, and this is going to get all the way up in here. Okay. Now, I'm going with this one. My gut says we're more safe than going to do this one. All right, A, not B. That's what my gut says. However, I can't just go by my gut and a feeling, a little tingling sensation. I have to watch and see what's going on. All right, I've got to read and react to what is actually going on. So I'm looking at this currently. I'm on the 2-hour time frame for some reason. But if we zoom into what's happening right now, we can see consolidation. Yeah, we can see that the market was here, pushing down from this point here, making some lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Look, it consolidated for a little bit, pushed up and then pushed down. That's consolidating a little bit. Okay, so if I was to put in some lines, we'll kind of be looking like this, touching the last high before this lowest point, and then the market now consolidating sideways and price breaking outside of that market. Okay, price breaking outside of this little push down. Now, what we may see, as I mentioned, is a pushback up in here, even if it is to close some of these obvious imbalances. So let me get rid of this because this one has closed this imbalance now. Okay, let me get rid of some other little lines. We don't have to put this one in. We understand that this is the. In fact, we'll leave that one. All right. No, we'll get rid of this one because you can see I put this orange line here, which I'll make yellow, which is that swing low level. Make it solid, okay? And what's this orange line? I'm just trying to clean up the screen. Yeah, that was the previous structure I was showing you where the market broke through here with strength and speed. So we can get rid of this orange line, okay? So at the moment, even if this market wants to go down and start breaking structure, we might see it break the structure first, then push back up. Because the breaking the structure would be it capturing some liquidity below this swing level. So we might see it break the structure first, then push actually back up, and then decide to come back down. We might see it come back up first, go up, close these imbalances, and then decide to start coming down. Okay. Either way, I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. But what I can say is this: I can read and react to what's currently doing. And what's currently doing right now is this market is going sideways. Yeah, going sideways. All right. Now we can see, if I put this little indicator here on here, saving some time, we can see all these imbalances. See these green ones above? They're imbalances above. All right. All of these green little areas here, even if I go on a larger time frame, 15-minute time frame, groups them up a little bit. These are all imbalances. We're on an hour time frame. These are all imbalances that exist, these green ones, that this market can decide to go and close. Okay. And like I said, at the moment, this market is bullish. So what I'd be waiting for right now is to see what this market's going to do out of this consolidation. Okay. Now, at the moment, we can see I've actually drawn this consolidation around 2 boxes because of this wick, which has kind of annoyed me. And I don't know if this wick is something that's unique to Oanda, or whether or not this wick was just some sort of, let me get rid of this, was this some sort of news that came out or did something, I don't know. But I've drawn my consolidation above this top wick here. So this lowest point that it came down to, boom, and then this highest point, boom, this wick, and drawn a box around it. But I can obviously see that the market is consolidating within that box, within a range. Okay. Now, if I wanted to be safe, not sorry, I'd be waiting for a break outside of my bigger box. Yeah, let me say that again. If I wanted to be safe and not sorry, I'm waiting for indication, correction, continuation outside of my bigger gray box. Okay. If I wanted to be fast and eager, I might be able to get in slightly earlier outside of this internal box here, but I just don't like this wick's annoying. I wish this wick wasn't there and I could just clearly have that range, around this level. But ultimately, if I was to make it to any type of advice of what we should be looking at, I'd say you're going to wait to see what happens outside of the bigger box. Okay, outside of the bigger box. Okay, now if this market pushes up bullishly out and breaks structure, indication corrects and continues outside of it, then this market might just be wanting to come and close these imbalances and then decide it wants to start coming down. May do. Yeah, it may just close this little imbalance here and tap into some sort of structure and decide it wants to start coming down. May do. But I think it would be a good bet to get in here for the buy on the basis that there is lots of imbalance, as I just showed above. Okay, that the market might just keep pushing all the way up in here. And trust me, if you start getting up into these levels from down here, up into these levels, there's loads of pips. Even to this little level over here, for 290 pips. Any higher than that, 400 plus pips. This little level over here, 150 pips. Even if it comes and just closes this imbalance up in here, quick 40, 50 pips. All right. Now, in saying that, we have to make sure that we understand what's the likeliest place the market may go. Okay. Now, remember, the same way as this, you can see this little consolidation, it might decide, which is very possible also, that it wants to push down in here first. As I mentioned, grabbing the liquidity from below the swing low here, and then we start seeing some stuff happening like that. So there's 3 different things that this market could decide to do. All right. And there's one more as well, to be fair. It can do all of these things. It might say, no, we want to go up. Before we go up, let's get the provisions below this liquidity over in here. Let's get the bottles of water, patty, a new pair of trainers, a pat on the back, a good book. Let's go and get all that first before we make our journey back up in here. Yeah. Or it might just be happy with saying, you know what, we're going to break some structure like this, go up in here, then do it. Like, we don't know. All right. We don't know. So we are just aware of all of these scenarios that can happen. We are aware of these scenarios. Also, we need to pay attention and understand, looking at our Russian dolls. Let me get rid of this. Looking at our Russian dolls, there is a line. Let me try and draw it a little bit better because it's not drawn that well. See, there is a line that's been drawn here. Can you see? It's this blue one. Okay. Let me try and make it like so. This line is touching the data points of down here and then touching this data point in here, and it's still going. All right. So what's the relevance of that? Well, the relevance of that is that may be the floor, because it's like one of the Russian dolls, where this market wants to come down, push into here, yeah, tapping into this little level. Maybe you might even see a wick down here. I'm talking about this play here. It might decide it wants to push down in here first, tap into this floor, okay, tap into this floor, and then go. All right, and if we see a little wick bid on this level, yeah, it'll be about taking the liquidity from underneath here. So I'm very aware that all of these things can happen. I'm not marrying any scenario. All right, I'm not marrying any scenario. What I'm doing is I'm popping in my alerts over here. Watch, I'm adding an alert crossing up. I'm adding an alert crossing down over here. And I will read and react to what the US 30 market does. It's that simple. I'm going to read and react to what it does. I don't know what it's going to go and do in a short term, okay? But I'm going to be here looking at it in 15 minutes, 5 minutes for entry, looking at the bigger picture on an hour time frame, 4 hour time frame. The bigger picture on the hour time frame, this market is bullish. It's been going up and up and up and up. The fact that I'm drawing this purple line, it's just the line on my screen. Why did I draw it? I drew it because I can see this angle here, this purple line here, this purple dashed line. I'm going to make a bit thicker. And then we saw how the market was respecting this 50% of this bigger range, right? The bigger range being this purple line. So I placed this line in here as a guide to see what happens when the market goes up into this level. And we started seeing some little reaction, but that reaction hasn't been confirmed yet on the daily or the 4 hour, yeah? Or is it all the 1 hour? No, but let's say, yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, it has been confirmed. It has done something on the 1 hour. It did indicate, broke. Look, this is some structure here on the 1 hour, where this white line is. We can see it broke that structure. It corrected and it continued down here on the 1 hour time frame. But now we've come down to this bigger Russian doll. Let me explain this one more time to you. This Russian doll down here, this structure on our Russian doll theory, is a bigger boy than this minor structure in here. Because look, it's a swing structure. It's a 4 hour structure. Yeah, it's a bigger structure. Probably even, let's have a go to the daily. It's a daily structure. You see it? It's a bigger Russian doll. So even though we burst through here, made a lovely indication, correction, continuation. If I was to just hit sell now, I've got to understand that we've just approached a bigger boss, this bigger Russian doll here, which could say, listen, yeah, you better go back where you came from. You're not coming past here. We are bullish. We're making higher highs and higher lows. You better go back where you came from. And this market could get a little big, get a slap, and decide it has to go back this direction. And then maybe when it comes in here and closes some imbalances and inefficiencies, it gets enough courage, gets enough muscles that it says, you know what, this guy's actually not that bad. I think I'm better than him. And decided was to turn around and smash through this area. But from a Russian doll perspective, though we've broken this structure, which is structure, don't get twisted. Yeah, if I was to draw some lines in here, previously, have a look, you know, I would have drawn a line looking something like this, touching these data points like that. Oops, touching these data points like this, touching the last low before the highest high. But this structure here is not as wicked and bad as this structure. Why? Because you can see this Russian doll here, that pink one, touching these data points. Boom, boom. This swing level down here, this swing level down here. So this here is not on this swing level. So it's a smaller Russian doll than this doll. Do you understand? All right, just like this here level here, sitting on this structure here, is a bigger Russian doll than this pink one here. Because it's sitting on a bigger structure, i.e. this blue line, as a swing low level in here, this whole area. Yeah? And if you was to zoom out once again, an even bigger Russian doll would be on that purple line. These areas here is a bigger Russian doll here. This is a bigger Russian doll here. As in this whole pink section is a bigger Russian doll. So we've got this big pink, this big purple. I keep saying pink, purple. This whole purple section is, listen, let me pull out the picture. I'll pull out the picture just so it resonates with you, because it's very, 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 you hear me go over it so much, but it's because traders, historically, and they don't understand what's going on in the bigger picture. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when we're looking at this picture like this, we are understanding, open image in new tab. Okay, it's a small one. We are understanding that this bigger structure exists in this purple range. That's the bigger structure. Inside that bigger structure, we've got this blue range, this blue dotted line here, and this blue dotted line here. We've got this blue range, which is a smaller dot within this bigger structure. Go on, Darren, you want to say something?
No.
No? Okay, no problem. All right. So in this blue Russian doll, we've got this yellow doll, which is a smaller structure within here. Okay. And then within that yellow structure in here is what we're looking at on a smaller level. Turning around and saying, okay, the market's trading within this yellow range. And within this yellow range, the market is still bullish, making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. Then we've got this little pink structure in here, which is this pink line here. If I was to put the top end of this pink line, it would be like this. So for this market right now to go up to the top of this pink range, it means it broke out of one of the smaller Russian dolls. It broke out of it, had enough. This little guy in here said, listen, I'm just busting through this structure here. Okay. It's got ambitions. It's got ambitions to be a bigger doll and make its own way, make its own path in life and create its own structure. But at the moment, everything is confined within all of our Russian dolls. And even this big push down here hasn't broken outside of this yellow structure. It has broken outside of this pink structure at the moment. It's one of the smaller Russian dolls. Have a look. It has broken outside of that pink structure, but not been confirmed because it hasn't broken. It says it's broken outside of the market of these two pink lines, but it hasn't broken this structure yet. So it hasn't been confirmed that it wants to do anything different. And even when it breaks outside of that, the question is it going to be able to break outside of this blue structure? Can you see all these questions I've got in here? And even if it breaks this blue structure, then I ask, is it going to be able to break this yellow structure? After this breaks this yellow structure, I'm going to be thinking to myself, is it going to be able to get down to that purple structure that we have on the bigger picture? That's why these lines are here. They are guides. Let me understand where the ceilings and the floors are of our structure. And you can do the same. It's very simple. What I do is not difficult. We zoom out when we start. We place these guides in. Now, you may afterwards, guys, if I was trading with myself, my chart wouldn't be looking like this necessarily. Because I understand certain things. I can have a minimal amount of lines on my chart. But when you're here, I try to put it in with colors so it's very clear and you can understand, and you guys can see the different ranges. Look, no ranges. Now you can see the purple, the pink range. Now you can see this potential blue line is the bottom of the bigger range. What are we concerned about at the bottom of a bigger range? Well, it's buy territory. That is cheap. What we concerned about at the top of a pink range, at the top of any range here, for argument's sake, that is expensive and people might be selling off. The market came up here to 50% of that pink range, where we know the market's can do anything, and then decided to break outside of that pink market. Now, we don't know if it's having second thoughts as it's approached this structure of what's whoa, there's some trouble over there. I'm not sure if I really want to face that trouble. Let's go back. Or, no, let's go for it. Let's actually try and punch a hole in it. And then we can go back, get some energy from the inefficiencies, and then make our way. All right? So like I said, I've got my alerts in here at the moment. Can you see over here? If I right-click it and click alert lines, you can see I've got some alerts between here and here. I can even remove this one for now. All right? 2 alerts between here and here, i.e. this consolidation. And I'm going to wait to hear if that rings. Let's go look at something else real quick. Let's go look at Euro JPY. All right. So I'm going to delete everything off our Euro JPY, even though it looks like it's trading within the structure that I've drawn very nicely. I'm going to start again. All right. I don't know when I drew that, but like the market was sticking in. Let's go back. I don't know when I drew this structure, but we can see that the market is playing its game. It's pushed up here to the top of this pink range, side pushing down, and it's been trading within this little blue range, it seems, whenever I drew this, because I didn't draw it recently. Okay, it's been trading down within that range. Now let's ask some questions. When it gets down to here, what are you guys going to be thinking? What are you going to be concerned about when it gets down to that thicker pink line that I just put in? What are you going to be concerned about? It's a question. What are you going to be concerned about when it gets down to that bigger pink, this line over here? Or if it gets down to there? Come on, engage, Brave. It's got to do with those two pink lines. That's that pink range. What is it going to do? What are you going to be concerned about? Sorry, not what is it going to do, you don't know. What are you going to be concerned about if the market gets down to this pink area? This pink line. Do you know? If you don't know,
bounce back off. Might not break that structure.
Yeah, this might be an area. Yeah, this might be the bottom of a range, and at the bottom of any range, we're interested in doing what? We're interested in buying because it's going to be cheap. So when this market gets all the way down, say again.
It's going to go in the opposite direction. Opposite direction once it hits the bottom of the range, yeah, or not?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. We don't know. We don't know for sure, but we're saying that this is the bottom of the range. And like, if you think about the simple concept is that in any range, we want to buy at the bottom and sell at the top. So I'm not trying to say that it's not going to break out this outside of this range and start doing something else. But if it does do that, it would be it doing something else. It change. Yeah. So I'm saying to you that when the price gets down there, I'd be pretty concerned, keeping a close eye whether this market's going to, imagine it starts to come down here in some little structure, and I start seeing this, I'd be concerned that the market's going to indicate, correct, and continue, and maybe do this. Even if it goes up to a certain level, I'm not trying to say it has to go all the way back up to the pink level, but maybe it's a 50% of this impulse, maybe to an area of imbalance. There's some imbalance in here. There's some imbalance in here. Yeah. I'd be concerned about that just on the basis of the bigger Russian doll, this bigger pink Russian doll, especially if I see the market break outside of this blue Russian doll, which is some structure that the market's been trading down within. Okay. I'd be concerned. And that was just me literally just seeing some, I don't know when I did that markup. It wasn't recent. It wasn't recently that I've done that, drawn these lines on this chart. It's definitely last midweek, maybe last week, a week ago, at least. And the market's been, prices has been staying within the lines, the guides that we drew. Yeah, no surprises. Been trading down within this range. This is essentially a correction of a bigger bullish market. This market is within these pink lines been getting bullish, and this is ultimately a correction of this bigger bullish impulse. And let's even check something. Look, have a look. I'm going to let me get rid of this. I'm going to pull out my Fibonacci just to see it all the way up to the top of this mountain over here. It doesn't mean that much. It's just a guide. But we're just saying that, look, isn't it a coinky that this angle, this pink angle, means that this market has taken its time enough to wriggle down and get very close to the bottom of this range that happens to be right at 50% of this impulse. Remember, these pink lines are just lines I've drawn on the screen. Maybe the angle's slightly off. Maybe it should be ever so slightly a bit more pointing upwards. But the point is that this market can now decide that it wants to consolidate around here before making a little liquidity grab at 50% and then deciding to go on. And that would have been this whole push here would have been a 50% retracement of this impulse. Yeah, because 50% is a significant area. Also, when we look left, I can see some reasons of why the market might want to come down here. I can see some reasons Yeah, because the market, I'm looking for reasons to back up my theories and my theories and my ideas. This imbalance is a reason why the market might decide to come down in here. See in here? On the 1 hour, you can't see. If I go to my 4 hour, that imbalance is a draw on price. Look at it. If I was to put my little indicator again, because I can't bother to draw it, that first big red block you see underneath here is a big bit of imbalance that the market can choose to, let me close this inefficiency. Okay, job done, job well done. And now let's keep it moving. Yeah? Now let's keep it moving. You see how we create this picture. We create in these pictures of what we think is going on, and then we're backing them up with our education, saying, okay, well, maybe it's going to do that. Also, boom, okay, the market consolidate here and have a quick wick in here. Maybe some news comes out in Euro, JPY. Like, we're backing up our ideas with facts. The same thing that, anyone, if you was a scientist, that's what you do. You have a theory, and then you back it up with evidence, with some practical information, some things that some things that have been tried and tested. That's what you do. You'd have a theory. I think that this is the case, but then you can't just run with that. You've got to have evidence. Okay, so me looking at this EJ right now, I'm thinking to myself, especially if I zoom in right now, the market's consolidating. Have a look. If I zoom in right now, this market is doing the hokey cokey in here. Okay, it may continue to do the hokey cokey for a little while. It may continue to do this for a little while. Yeah, and then it may say, yeah, we're going to go down here, closing that imbalance, tapping into this bottom end of where things are very, very cheap. And then we start seeing demand coming into the market for this cheap Euro against the Japanese yen. And we might start seeing it doing this. Or maybe it doesn't care about this imbalance. Goes sideways here. It's had enough. And then decides to do this. Or maybe it says, you know what, we've had enough of this bullish market. I'm breaking outside of this pink Russian doll. I hate the pink Russian doll. I'm breaking outside. I'm breaking free. Yeah? Django, Unchained, just wants to go in this direction. It's had enough of being in that pink range. Maybe, I think, the most likely would probably be this one for me. Oops, it's in 2 bits. This one for me, the most likely for us to color it. It'd be this pink one's the most likely. Then potentially I'd say that we have this one here as the second most likely, and then this one here as the third most likely. But at the same time, that's just my opinion. That's not backed up by information. That's just backed up by what I would prefer to do into play. Doesn't matter that you're sitting at your table right now, it's bank holiday, you got some time off work, you're ready to trade, so therefore you're just going to be hitting the button. Yeah, it's patience still. I'm going to pop my alert in here, crossing down. I'm going to pop an alert, and I'm going to sit around, and I'm going to wait for the market to show me what it wants to do. Not me willing it. Yeah, we're buying this. I'm going to buy it. I'm buying EJ. I'm not buying EJ. If I ask about what I'm doing with EJ, I don't know. So, man, I'm at the moment, I actually don't know what I'm doing with EJ. It's looking as though it may do X, Y, Z, but I'm waiting to see. And even if you're somebody and you're like, I want to take some good trades today, and you're thinking to yourself, when might you see? Well, this is when you use your education. Let me ask a question and put it out to the group. When might you see what this market wants to do? When? So you've got things to do today. You've got the kids, they're off school, and you've got to do a little work stuff. You got to run to the shops. But when I say when, that refers to time, might you see this market, make up its mind of what it wants to do here?
2:30 when the New York Exchange opens.
Yeah, I mean, potentially around those times, because we understand if we put this here, kill zones, which was working again the other day, let me see how it's doing. Yeah, that we understand that these markets start doing some stuff in certain times, right? There's certain times when they be doing jack squat diddly, and then other times it starts to do something. And I'd say from when London opens, which is nowish, all right? Going, have a look here, for example. You can see, look at, I don't know, let me choose, probably not a good example, but let's just choose over here for argument's sake. Look, the market was kind of doing nothing, all right? Kind of in this little range in here, because look, it came down here, but then it came up and just started going sideways. So yeah, it had a little excitement over the night, you know, had a good night. There's a little excitement happened overnight. This is the Asian session, this red block. But then it kind of did nothing afterwards, rolled over and fell asleep, all right? And then we saw London, it still kind of was just waking up. But have a look at this overlap of when New York opened and London was open. So London was waking up. Remember, we have those different characteristics, sleeping, waking up, and then awake. This area here, whereby this New York session kicked off and had the overlap, look, boom, ready for action. Pushed all the way down there. Pushed all the way down there. And then it was tired after all of this energy and started to go sideways again and just went sideways over the weekend. This is a little weekend gap. And then it's, at the moment, this is the Asian session where the market's kind of like not doing anything. Yes, we can see some movement, but it's not necessarily bullish, not necessarily bearish. It's just kind of like, yeah, we was going to go down, but it's long. Now we're just kind of going sideways, marking about. Now, what we may see, if the market starts breaking outside of here, we may see this market doing something. Yeah? It may start pushing up into here. We don't know. Look, this market might decide, oh, yeah, over in London session now, we might just start making some sort of, you know, slow moving moves like this, maybe pushing up into this area. Look, have a look left. What can we see? Is maybe a reason the market might decide it wants to quickly just creep up into here. We see. If it's not clear, maybe you guys are looking on your iPhone. Here, let me zoom in. Yes. Arrows getting away. Come on, sharpen up. We can see a potential imbalance in efficiency here in the market by this big red candle that came down here and broke structure with strength and speed. The market may decide to creep back into this level first in London, and then when New York opens overlap, decided it wants to actually push further down into these levels here, capture some of the liquidity that we saw over here below this level. All of these things are possible. So therefore, we're going to read and react. Right now, we might see it creeping and doing something. We might choose to get into that energy. We might choose to wait because we've got things to do, like Jason said, and wait till that New York overlap, yeah, which is going to be around approximately, obviously, we know there was some time frames, things were going on with the time, clocks going backwards and forwards, etc. But have a look around here when this market really started to rock and roll. All right, bearing in mind, just confirm the times are correct. Yep, all right, London time. You can see here the market was still going sideways here. At 1 o'clock, was still going sideways here. But at 2:30, 2:30, 3 o'clock, we see this action happening. All right, let's go and look again when we see if there's any action that was happening at a certain time. Let's look over here. Kind of like a, don't understand what this changed. Let's look at that. Yeah, this is marking up that it said started that session starting at 12. But we can see around here, around about 12:30, 2:30 was up here in this 10. Nothing too much going on here in that overlap. But either way, around about that time you want to be in your trade. It's not like at a certain time at 12:30 on the dot things start happening at 12:01, but sometimes the market starts to make it smooth beforehand. Just understand when this overlap happens, all right, this indicator is showing it as 12 o'clock, but for my opinion, it's about 1 o'clock. You know, my alarm on my phone goes off around about 1 o'clock. Tell me to have a look at the markets. I've just got an alarm that just sets. It's constantly, every single day. At 1 o'clock, my alarm. It also lets me know where we are in the day. It's the reason why I have it. It lets me know what's going on in the day when that alarm starts to ring, like where I am. Yeah, 1 o'clock is quite significant for me. It means that the day's, we're in the afternoon. All right. But yeah, so again, like I said to you, I've got my alerts in here, one above here, one below here, and I'm going to wait and see what it does. All right, let's look at something else. Anyone want me to look at a particular pair before we finish up? Anyone want me to look at a particular pair? If not,
Go for gold.
Let's go for gold. I knew someone was going to say gold. So let's have a look at gold. I haven't traded gold in some time. So we're going to do gold all the way from the ground up. All right, so we're going to hit this reset. All right, I'm going to delete everything off my charts. I'm going to go even bigger than that, like so. I'm going to make this screen even bigger. Oh, do you know what I clocked? No wonder everything. Oh yeah, it was like zoomed out a bit. There you go. Everything's a little bit small. Right, so this is gold. And I'm currently on a monthly chart, meaning that every single candle is a month in time. And I think it's quite obvious of what this market's been doing. This market has been, making you money if you invested in it many, many years ago. The market was pushing up in this. Here's some data points. The market was pushing up here to here. All right, we can touch these data points in here also, from here to here. Data point. All right. Okay, since then was like, well, people are throwing some dollars into there. And we've seen this angle here, touching this data point down here, these data points here. So look, we've seen some Russian dollars. The biggest Russian dollar is this guy over here. All the way this bottom end. We don't even know where the top end is at the moment, that bigger Russian dollar. Maybe it's over here. No, because we've broken past there. Who knows? So we don't need to worry about that top end. The next Russian dollar is touching this data point and these data points. And if we wanted to put a top end in here, it's looking like this. You see it? The next Russian, let me make these different colors, in fact. Let me make these different colors. All right, so it's the first little Russian dollar. It's the second Russian dollar. Yes, this green one. Let me pull it out some more. Yeah, and we're generally trying to see where the energy of that move is. I'm gonna do that. So at the moment, the market's within this green Russian dot. Now we have broken some structure here. Here was a swing high. The market broke that swing high. The market broke that swing high, then created our three kings, which was this high, and this high, making a very strong level of quote unquote resistance. And a lot of liquidity was sitting above that level, but the market, boom, broke above that level. If we go to our weekly, broke above this level with this wick, ran in the opposite direction after grabbing that liquidity, and then said, you know what, we actually like it up here. The air is fresh, the scenery is beautiful, and it came down and said, we're going to keep going into this new uncharted land. Yeah, and pushed up in here. And at the moment, one could say that we're in the middle of our green Russian door. Middle to top, all right, of our green Russian door. One could say that, all right? Now, if we drop our time frame down further, because we're still miles out, we're still quite zoomed out as day traders, then we can see some more Russian dots. Here's one touching in some data points like this. All right, touching some data points like this data point here. And that could be the top end within that yellow range. You see it? And then if we wanted to go to a smaller Russian dot, I'm going to touch this data point and this data point. And why this data point? Because on the bigger picture, higher high, higher low, higher high, this is the last low before the highest point on this picture. Okay? And I'm going to make that a different color. Let's make that turquoise. Yeah? If I wanted to, I could try and put in this range like so, above this, touching this little wick here, which I don't know, maybe that's just manipulation, or maybe that is actual some valid structure. But then on a smaller level now, because we're still far out, we're still quite far out. Then I'm looking at this structure in here. This is the Russian dollar I'm looking at. Between here and here, touching the last low before the highest point. We make that a different color. We're going to make it white. And if I wanted to, I could put the top end on as well. All right, now we're definitely trading within this white range. Let me zoom down, have a look. Go to my 4 hour. As you can see me zooming it in now, these are not drawn the best. I can draw them a bit better now. When you're further out, you've got, like, it doesn't necessarily touch the points you want it to. So I'm going to touch there. And then I'm put a top end in like that. Okay. And we can see how the market's made these higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Big push over here, breaking this previous structure here. See, there was structure here. The market broke above it, came and retested it, sat on top of the structure, and then it's pushing up in this level here. Now, it hasn't made a higher high yet, so the data points I'd have to put in here. So I'll drop to my hour. I want to see what the low was, the low before this highest point. This is the highest point here at the moment. And the market is trading within whatever that high is when I find it and whatever the last low was. So look, have a look at structure. I'd probably be like this. Touching some of these little levels in here. Let me try and make this a different color. Running out of colors, let's go red. All right. Meaning that over here was low. And this is a high, the highest point. I wanted to put in the, a top end, kind of like this a little bit. You see, pushed up here pretty high. Not the best way of drawing it. Okay. So the market is trading within that white line and this white line at the moment. Okay. Which was the indication, the correction, and potentially this was like a continuation above this structure over here, breaking above this little level here. The market pushed above the in here. The market smashed through that yellow line here with strength and speed. It's green, 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 green. On a higher time frame, this would have been in balance of all of these green candles. And then it came down and closed that imbalance, corrected, and potentially we don't know. Oops. It's saying my internet connection isn't very good. So if I do cut out, guys, do try and let me know somehow. All right. So this is the correction. We don't know if this market wants to continue and break above this level here, or whether this market now was just coming in here to close in balance and now it's going to keep coming down here. We don't know, but we can see that we're in the middle of this white structure here, which I'm not happy about because I don't know what it wants to do. These two white lines, I'm in the middle of it. Yeah, middle of that range. Yeah, but I am at the top, near enough. Well, actually not at the top, but I'm near the top third of this blue range. Yeah, you see that blue range? These two blue lines. This is giving me an angle, an opinion of what I want to do. Now, look, if this high breaks this level, then I'll be able to change this angle to being like this, because then this would be the newest high, and I'll be touching the low before the highest point. So I could get rid of this if it breaks that structure, and I could say that this is the structure of the market trading up within these levels. I could do, but at the moment, the market hasn't broken this high, so therefore. This is this, well, look, get rid of that. The market was pushing, the lows was here. The market was trading within this high and this low. Now, if I drop to a smaller time frame, I'll get more structure. I want to look in here. See all these green candles? I want to look in here and see better structure. Let me drop to my 15 minutes. Now I'm getting some better structure on the 15-minute time frame. So if I was to draw some lines, it'd be like this. Touching the last low over here, which I'm going to make white, the last low before this highest point. And we saw the market came and broke that structure, made a correction, made a continuation, and then started coming back in this direction and potentially breaking above this level in here. So ultimately, what the market is doing on a smaller time frame is marking about in this little box here, looking like it wants to break above it, but ultimately kind of, as I mentioned, kind of going sideways in this little area here, which is above this high and where this kind of area is in down here, this low here. Obviously, I could put it down a bit more, but either way, it's kind of in here. So I don't want to take any action until this market does something outside of this area. Either breaks above it, and even when it breaks above it, I'm a bit conscious that I'm taking a trade in the middle of that white range, these two white lines, which I'm going to be like, yeah. Or I want to see this market tap in here and start pushing down here because it doesn't want to break this level. But at the moment, I don't know. All right. This is a game where you're coming into. This is a game by understanding what is a good trade to a bad trade, because we have spoken about it multiple times. In an ideal scenario, and I'm putting this over here to get some clean space. In an ideal scenario, I want to take a trade at the top of the top of the top or the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So if it's the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, I want the bigger structure to be doing this. Okay. And let's imagine the market was coming down here like this, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then we see it coming in here, breaking structure. And then it's coming down in this level. And inside of that level, let me try and make it a different color. Make this a different color, like that. It's a different color. Like that. And then ultimately within that structure, zoom into this bit here. And if I zoomed into that bit here, what it looks like is it looks like this. This is a zoom. This is the zoomed in bit, right? So I'm trying to explode the film. So in there, you see it doing this. As it's coming down to that little bit here, let me make it a color. Oops. That little bit here that I've made yellow, that little yellow line in here, imagine that that's the zoom. This is the zoomed in structure of that yellow bit. I'd like to see it and be able to get in at the bottom of that yellow bit when it's breaking some structure in here, as in it's making a higher high and higher low, higher high, because then I will be getting in at the bottom of the bottom. So the bottom of this bigger yellow range, I'd be getting in, but in a smaller time frame, zooming into this area here, I'd be getting in the bottom of that range. Yeah. With my stop hopefully below, my stop below here, have a look. If I want to be safe, let me make it red. With my stop below here, which on a smaller time frame would be about, below this structure here. So I hope you understand what I've just done. I've tried to zoom in, to this. I tried to zoom in, it to be like the zoomed in version of what's going on in here. I want to be able to get into the bottom of the bottom of the bottom for a buy. And hopefully, if the gods are with me, this market's going to do this. Break structure, keep going up in here, keep going up in here, all the way to this top range here. That's what's hopefully going to happen. Yeah? It's going to see in here, break this little structure. Yeah, that's the zoomed in version of what's going on in here. And it's going to be a tremendous trade because I got in at the bottom of the bottom. And it's a bullish market and I got in for a buy in a bullish market at the bottom of a range. Or vice versa, flipping it all on its head at the top of the top of the top in a bearish market. That's what you're going to be turning around and saying is that is a good trade, a 9, 10 out of 10 trade. A bottom of the bottom of the bottom, or the top of the top of the top of the top. Soon as we get into this territory here, we're in the middle of this bigger range. Yeah. We're already we're losing points. It can't be a 10. Can't be a 9, can't be a 10. Now, is there still an opportunity? Yeah, there is an opportunity on a smaller time frame. There is. I'm not saying there's not. There's still people trading when there's not absolute 10 out of 10s. But you've got to know that it's not a 10 out of 10. You got to know that I'm a bit annoyed that we're in the middle of this yellow range, but you know what I mean? And make a decision. Because you might turn around and say, Jay, I never take a trade here. I don't care if I have to wait 2 weeks. I'm only taking trades here, retracements, here, or here. And I'm looking for on a smaller time frame to be getting in somewhere in here. Smaller time frame to be getting in somewhere in here. Smaller time frame to be getting in somewhere like here. Smaller time frame getting in somewhere like here. That's the only trades I take. That's what, if I could bless you with something, that's what I'd say to you. Those should be the only trades you take. You'd be waiting. You'd be sitting here. You'd be in the middle of this range right now. You'd be really itching to take a gold trade, but you say, you know what, Jay, I'm not taking a trade until this market gets up in here or does something else and starts breaking some structure. And that takes tremendous patience. Yeah. But if you drop, you can drop your, your expectations and be like, okay, we're not quite in here, but there is some great market structure here. It's breaking, it's indicating, it's correcting. It's like, if it does all these things, it'd be like a 7-8, not a 9-10. It'd be a 7-8 because we're kind of in the middle of this bigger range. Remember, this bigger range could be a massive range, could be over months. And as a day trader, there doesn't that just because that's the case, there are still opportunities on a smaller time frame. It's just not all the stars have aligned. Some of the stars have aligned in here, not all of them. Okay, so that is the principle of understanding a good trade to a bad trade, and me drawing all of these Russian doll lines because it lets me know who I'll go on. Now, at the moment, for example, in this gold trade, I can't necessarily turn around and say that it's the top of the top of the top of the top of the top. Not when you can start going out all the way to like weeklies and monthlies and all these kind of distances like that. Because look, the only time that would have been aligned would have been down here for the buy, or down here for the buy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But without going all the way out to weeklies, you can start off in your daily time frames and start at least trying to align yourself with some daily structure as a day trader. So therefore, understanding this range that we're in here, understanding we're at the top of the range in here, just think to yourself, what, there may be an opportunity right now where this market's going to sell off. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so right now, how I'm looking at this market is, though we're in the middle of this green range, I'm wondering, is this market going to just keep pushing up here, pushing up and up and up and up and up? Or are we going to have some sort of reaction to the top of this yellow line and maybe the top of this blue line, which I've put in here just because of this wick touched all the way up in here? Okay, but are we going to see some sort of reaction? So when I zoom all the way down to my smaller time frame, yeah, this market might push just above here, but is it just going to be a push up into these levels to start turning around? Or is it not going to break this structure and start turning around now at the top of this range? I do not know, but I can read and react. So once again, I'm going to pop an alert, crossing up above this area here, or above this gray box, and I'll pop an alert if this market decides it wants to start breaking some structure on a 15-minute time frame. Can you see the structure? Yeah, I'll pop a little alert underneath here if the market decides it wants to start breaking some structure. And you might be thinking, boring, because you ain't pulled the trigger. Well, if that's what you think, that's what it is. It's boring. Yeah, because you're investing your money here. You can't just throw your money at anything. You've got to be discerning. You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to make decisions based upon information, not based upon a hunch or based upon you're so impatient that you just need to take a trade right now. Okay? Have I made sense? Hopefully. Have I made some sense in regards to how you're looking at these markets? I hope I have.
Yeah, man, you have.
I hope I have. Yeah. It's nice to think to yourself that every time you sit at the charts, because you seen it on Instagram, that whenever you open your laptop, you just making money because you're a trader. But more times out of 10 in trading, do you know what you're doing? You're waiting around and twiddling your thumbs. You're waiting around for some confirmations. Everything else is that you don't want everything else. You don't want her. You don't want him. He's just you settling and just trying, just hoping for the best. You want the best for yourself. You want the best partner. You want the best business partner. You want the best car. You want the best, item of clothing. You don't want to settle for that car that's just got cloth interior when you could wait for leather interior. Yeah? You could wait for full leathers, heated seats, everything electric. You don't have to, you're not cranking nothing. Nothing's done by hand. Everything electric. If I gave you that option, I said, listen, boom, yeah, look, you can buy the BMW. It's a nice BMW, whatever it is, X5, X6, X7, X. You could take this one right now. It's got cloth interior, no sunroof, no electrics, no electric seats, no heated seats, no navigation. Or you could wait. Just be a little bit patient, and you're going to get one with electric, leather seats, everything fully loaded. I personally know what I would do. I don't know what you lot would do. But you know what, bro? I'll be patient, bro. If you tell me I can get the one that's fully loaded, I'll wait. It's the same with these trades, with these charts. You want something that's fully loaded in your favor with your bias of what you think it's going to go and do. That's what you're waiting for. And if you don't get it, that's fine. It's your decision. No one can't, make you do something you don't want to do. But just know, when you come to sell that car, it's not going to hold its value. Just know, after a while, the wear and tear on those cloth seats is going to be looking mad compared to that leather. Just know, when somebody comes in there and they ask, they're cold and it's freezing in the morning, and they say, can you put on the heated seats, and you don't have them, it reminds you at that point, I don't have heated seats, man. You have to be aware of what is a good trade to a bad trade. What is the best thing here that you're waiting for to, I'm not trying to say sit around and wait, 6 months for the market to get into a certain area. That's why I said to you, when you get down to into essentially daily structure, 4-hour structure, you can start looking for the top of the top of the tops. If you're looking at going into your monthly chart, saying if by coincidence you open up the chart and even on the monthly, you're sitting at the top of the top of the top of the bottom, well, fantastic. Then you know where your bias should be. Could be a great, fantastic trade that's over a long period of time that you could just hold forever. But more time out of 10, you're not even trying to hold trades forever. But what it can do is it can give you a bias. Let's imagine that you was here. Let's imagine that you open up this chart and let me zoom all the way out. I'm trying to find one that makes sense here. This point over here. No. Let me say here. Yeah. This point over here, meaning that the market gave you enough information, enough data here that you was able to pull out this yellow line because you saw it come all the way down here and then break structure, making a higher high, making a higher low. And even if we left it a little bit, it made a bit of a slightly higher high and it confirmed that. All right. So let's play it for. Let's say it made a higher high. And you're like, listen, this is a data point. This is a data point. This is a data point. Okay. And you just happened to open up your chart in December 2018. All right. Let me play it forward. Who knows why it's taking so long? It's taking ages. Don't know why it's taking so long. Every single one of those candles should be a month in time. You just happen to open up your chart in December 2018. Look. And you're watching this market as it just indicated, didn't quite close above this. Oh, here, look. And you're seeing, look, it indicated on a monthly, breaking some previous structure, indicated, made a correction, but did not close back above the indication. So you're sitting there watching, if you get yourself, what's going on here? Is the market going sideways? But when it comes back down into this level again, and you're at the bottom of the bottom, yeah? Watch me drop the time frame down, have a look. If it gives me the data, look, I'm on a daily now. I'm at the bottom of the bottom. So I'm like, whoa, look at that yellow line. I'm sitting on the bottom. Now I'm waiting to see that market start giving me what I need. And at the moment, it's making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Not telling me anything at the moment to say it's ready to go and do something. Yeah, it's not really giving me any, hasn't given me no confirmations. Let's play it forwards. Oh, was going sideways for a little bit, then boom, broke above some of this structure. Why is it structure? Look, if I was to put some lines in here, you can see this market broke above this, came down here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, the way pushed down here, grabbing the liquidity. Went sideways for a little bit. Then just got an indication now above this little level in here. Let's see what happens. Got a little correction back into this level, back into this imbalance. Are we going to get a closure above in here? Are we going to get a correction continuation above this level in here? See? Came all the way, didn't correct straight away, but didn't close above here, so it wasn't in the trade, came all the way in here, wanted to close this imbalance properly. Not a little semi-close, wanted to come all the way down in here and close this imbalance properly. Now, so this is the indication, this is the correction closing the imbalance properly. Are we going to get a continuation that closes above this level over here? I'm waiting. Let me put my little potential trade in here. Are we going to get a continuation that closes above that level here to tell me that it's doing something else after tapping the bottom of the bottom of the bottom? You see? Closure above here. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this massive trade with my stop above here, but below here. It's a massive trade in regards to, this is a huge range because look, we're on a daily time frame, but I'm just showing you, so we don't need to worry about how big that zone is. That could be the trade here. The safer trade, this is one trade. The safer trade will be placing this stop below this swing low over here is the safer trade. Okay. This market on a smaller time frame has now just indicated where it wants to go and do it once again. Again, there's going to be some sort of correction on a smaller time frame. Let me hit play. And some sort of continuation, the aggressive trade, even on this time frame, would be below this last low. Can you see? These are the different areas this market could have taken. And we could have zoomed in again, getting all the way down to 15-minute, 5-minute entries. Yeah. And then we hit the button and see what happens. Basically, bearing in mind that I know that this trade here, very safe, 10 out of 10, giving myself some room. They're all in a great area, but they're just different degrees of risk. Being the safest one. Yeah. But either way, we're at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And everything's going good. Everything is going good. Made a retracement. Everything's going good. Broke structure again. Everything is going good. You're just holding on to this trade now, watching your riches grow. Yeah, everything's going good because you took that trade at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Now you're watching structure breaking. Every time it breaks these structures, you're expecting to see a correction. Every time this structure breaks, you're expecting to see a correction. This structure got broken, you're expecting to see a correction. So a big one here, closing some imbalance. Then it broke this structure, you're expecting to see a correction. Broke this structure, you're expecting to see it until it went all the way up there. And even at this point in time, you're looking at it, and that Russian dollar has been trading within was like this. It would have been like this. Have a look. Something like this, if I can draw it properly. Touching this data point and this data point. And then you saw it accelerate like so. All right. And come to a certain level. And at that point in time, if you was in that trade here, absolutely killing this trade, whichever entry you took, yeah, it made a fortune, whichever entry you took. The smallest entry is a 1 to 20. Jeez. All right. And when I say smallest entry, that's smallest entry on a daily. That's not me dropping down to 4 hour, 1 hour, 15-minute, 5-minute. Who knows what kind of entry could have got? Yeah, that's just me for this example. But when we got up here now, and this price starts to break outside of this white line, then you're in good profits, but you're like, whoa, what's going on here? Because now price is breaking outside of the market, breaking some structure. Look, it's broke this daily structure, minor daily structure here, indicated broke it. Made a lower high and then started to go sideways, really making you think about what someone do. You're stressed and everything. Is this the end of the road? And then you see an indication in the opposite direction, breaking some previous structure and even breaking below this little wick. Then you see a correction. Let's see what happens next. Now the market's still doing the hokey cokey because it didn't close down here straight away. It actually came and broke structure again. So it reset everything. So in my opinion, this market is just ramping in that level from where that wick was, yeah, to up into these levels. Is kind of just going sideways. I'd like to see a real solid closure to understand what's going on. But by this time, if I was at a 1 to 20, I might just take my money. I don't need to sit around in it. I could take my money like this. 1 to 20, I'm good. I don't want to see this as some big red candle appear from nowhere. I take my 1 to 20. Let's see what happens. Oh, we've seen a lovely indication. Now this is showing it's indicated out of this level. We might see a further correction back up into this level here, but on a smaller time frame, there's a smaller correction here. Smaller correction, closing some imbalance. Because remember, this is the daily. This is still huge time frames. It's a little smaller correction in here, closes imbalance, and a little continuation. That could be your excuse to say, I'm out, mate. On a bigger time frame, we're probably going to see a little correction further up into here. Let's see. Look. Indicated further correction came back up into this level here. Now, potentially right now, you're either thinking to yourself that this is just a liquidity grab and it wants to go up and up and up and up some more, or you're thinking to yourself, I'm looking for the sell. I'm looking for the continuation to get in here early here, or to at least see it close below this level. And potentially now this rodeo might be making a bigger correction in this direction after getting your 1 to 20. Maybe we're going to have a correction coming into this direction. Maybe, but we've got to see what the market does. Let's have a look. No, push back up into here. You're happy now. The market indicate, we're still, remember, here's the range as well. Here's the previous consolidation range. And we're identifying and we're understanding that 50% of that range is an area of interest. Is this market going to stay below this 50% blue line, or is it going to push above? It's a big question. Yeah, because if it pushes below, goes up here and it starts to turn around, the momentum energy is still bearish. But even though it's pushing up in here, remember, this is still could be a correction, because this market here, have a look. Lower low, lower high, lower low. This could just be a correction into this level before it continues to do this. Let's see what happens. I don't want to see, if it breaks above this 50% area, I'm thinking to myself, it might want to push up from some more. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's have a look. Oh, I mean, you don't get no more accurate. And this isn't like, this is one I made earlier, guys. I've just zoomed in to the day. I don't know what's going to happen here. But look, push right into that 50% area and said, nah, bro, we don't want to go back up there. We don't like it up there. Started pushing down here, breaking down. This is showing me that this market wants to go bearish, yo. I want to see a closure below this level here and see what it's. Well, I would have gotten in earlier on a smaller time frame, but let's just see on the bigger time frame. We close below here. Let's have a look. Yeah, this has been the indication. This has been the correction that couldn't break 50% of the previous consolidation. Then boom, coming down here. Now, how far is it going to go? Well, who knows? Because remember, this would be a correction of this bullish impulse. That's not the trend. Now, maybe where that market might want to go is it might want to go 50% of that impulse. Yeah, it might want to go 50% of that impulse of it pushing up in here. So this was previous consolidation in here. Even though we got in here early, all right? So the impulse is kind of starting from around here. So maybe this market just wants to go 50% or so. See where that green line is. Let me try and put this correct. Where that green line is before it decides it wants to keep pushing up. I don't know. Let's see. Let's hit play and have a look. It came down, into that area. Like I said to you, the way I've drawn this 50% area from the impulse, maybe I should draw it when it broke outside of the consolidation, which made more sense. Okay, when it actually broke outside the consolidation, because then we'd have been sitting right at this 50% level. Remember, it's just an area of interest. These lines that I'm drawing, they're not, not millimeter perfect. But the bottom line is that when you got into that trade here, for argument's sake, you understand that you wouldn't be taking this trade at the 50% level of this area and 50% of that range. Look at this green range. You don't know what the market wants to do here. Okay, but either way, we're looking at it and we're reading. I'm just saying, we're telling these stories. We're reading the markets, seeing what's going on. The question is now, look, we made a lower low, lower high, or if you want to go here, lower low, lower high, lower low. Is this market going to break this lower high? Well, I'll tell you something for free. There is some liquidity sitting above these two highs. There's some liquidity. The market could go and nam, eat that liquidity, and then even continue coming down here lower. Let's see what happens. See what happens. It's making there's some equal lows over here now. Building up some liquidity down here also. Yeah. See what happens. Remember, this is a much, much bigger time frame. These are daily time frames. Oh, nam, ate that liquidity above the yellow area. Ate it now. Ate that liquidity, lovely. Look, and push in the opposite direction. Is it going to come for this other liquidity below these little equal lows? Oh, nam, ate that liquidity. Yeah, and now we're sitting on the bottom of our green range. Can you see? And we've had a reaction because we're discounted. And now we're pushing up. You see, it's like the story. You can just read the story. You can see what's happening. Yeah? Obviously, it's playing within the lines that we've already drawn, but the point is to be able to understand and have a look and come up with these little narratives, these little ideas of what may happen. All right? But guys, good morning. God bless. Hopefully, you've learned something. Hopefully, you're going to go through your charts, back test like we've done here, drawing some lines, drawing some structure, see whether or not the market is going to be playing to that structure, playing within those lines, all right? And being able to, remember, it's about those times when you're turning a corner. It's about those experiences where you go, oh, wait a minute, something's just clicked. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for those things when something just clicks, when you go, oh, I've just learned a little bit more. I've just learned a little bit more. Like, something has just clicked. That is all really what you're working towards. You're working towards those epiphany moments when you go, oh my gosh, I've just taken another step forward. It's like sometimes I see my kids and they just start doing something that they haven't done, and it's like they just grown, like not by like a step. They're like by like a couple steps, but like a jump. They're just moving differently. Yeah, it's the same with your trading. It's not like you're gonna be, oh my god, I'm learning this forever, just taking half a step forward. No, you might wake up one morning and something just clicks. You're like, oh my gosh, I see it now. And then you test it and it happens. Then you start trading like, raw, profits. Okay. That's how it happens. That's why you have to stay the course. Because it could just be that you just wake up and something just clicks. Like, oh my gosh, I can see it now. I see what Jay's talking about. I didn't get it before, but now I can see it. Yeah, if you've already experienced that, then well done. If you haven't yet experienced that click, then it's coming. Yeah, it is coming. All right. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a video. I'm just looking right now. I'm going to play a video, and this video is going to be about become the CEO of your own success. It's going to be a Myron Golden, who's the guy with all the white beard and white hair. It's either going to be him, or it's going to be, let me show you the screen and you guys can choose. All right. Because they're slightly two different energies. All right. You want to see my screen? It's either going to be this podcast, which is very interesting, with this African guy and the white woman that wears a yellow balaclava. She doesn't want to show her face. Yeah. And there is a video here, which is Africa without religion. Okay, which is going to be interesting talking point. Or we can watch this Myron Golden video here, become the CEO of your own success. He looks like he's speaking to somebody, and it seems like it's a bit more, maybe motivational. Which one do you want to watch? Sorry, first to post. Let me know. Let me stop the recording. For those of you that are at home watching on Zoom, do like and subscribe and whatnot. We're giving away gems. You've seen the way I broke down the markets today, very clearly, very concise, giving you an understanding of how to read